Biosphere. Introduction. The Earth is a unique planet in that it has life thriving on it. It is inhabited by countless forms of life, from microscopic bacteria to great banyan trees and animals like elephants, tigers, the blue whales, and of course human beings. The fact that the Earth has a combination of land, air, and water, and a moderate temperature due to a moderate distance from the sun, has made life possible on it. We saw in an earlier lesson that life thrives only in the intersection of three spheres: lithosphere, atmosphere, and hydrosphere. According to many geographers, life itself constitutes a separate sphere called biosphere. All forms of life have an integral connection with the land, air, water, and sunshine around them. They draw their sustenance from them and in turn affect them in significant ways. Various forms of life are not only related to three spheres around them, but also to each other. They are part of a complex food chain. That is, one kind of life becomes the food for another kind. Many of the life forms also are symbiotic. That is, they live by exchanging essential substances with each other. Let us consider some examples. The primary food producers are the plants which produce food with the help of sunlight. The plants themselves draw their vital nutrients from the soil, especially from organic compounds formed due to decay of other plants and animals. They also depend upon nitrogen stored in the soil by bacteria. The food produced by the plants are eaten by animals, usually called herbivores, or plant-eating animals like deer, cattle, goats, elephants, etc. Living beings like dogs, cats, fishes, birds, tigers, etc. eat the flesh of herbivores animals and in this way are indirectly dependent upon plants. Bacteria and fungi help in decomposition of dead trees and animals and breaking them down into organic compounds which are plants drawn upon for their growth. Thus, the cycle of life goes on. Any disturbance in this cycle can create what is called an ecological crisis. For example, in a particular species which feeds upon a particular kind of plants is exterminated, it would result in unchecked growth of that plant. It may grow so much that it may intrude into the area of other plants and stop them from growing. Another example of disturbance of mixing of some poisonous substances in air or water or soil. Many industries use chemicals and metals which they allow to flow into the streams and rivers. This leads to a large increase in the levels of such chemicals in the water. These metals like mercury are consumed by microorganisms in water and in turn become the food of a large number of fishes. When human beings consume these fishes, they too absorb quantities of mercury that are detrimental to their health. Let us look at another example. Vultures feed upon dead animals like cattle. Vultures eating dead carcasses used to be a common sight in villages and towns some 20 years ago. However, people started noticing that vultures have virtually disappeared and are sighted very rarely. Investigations suggest that farmers use a particular chemical called diclofenac to treat cattle. When the cattle die, their flesh retains this chemical. When their flesh is consumed by vultures, diclofenac leads to kidney failure in them, and they die within a week or so. In this way, vultures have come very close to extinction. Since all living and non-living things on the earth are in one way or the other connected to each other, changes affecting one in due time affects all others too. Objectives. In this chapter, we will learn about natural vegetation, grasslands, human society and environment, industries, pollutants and effluents, depletion of resources. Natural vegetation. Natural vegetation is generally classified into three broad categories: forests in areas of sufficient rainfall and sunshine, grasslands in regions of moderate rains, and shrubs in dry regions. In very cold regions, we have tundra vegetation consisting of small shrubs, moss and lichens. Let us study some of these in greater detail. As you may remember, there are different kinds of forests depending upon climate of the place.